Project Dirt. Chapter 15. What's that? Adam looked at Rokes, confused, as he got tossed a box. Hangover pills. I guess you wanted them. Don't tell my sister I got you those. Rokes grinned as he left the navigation chair and headed to the mess. We need to get a maid droid on the ship. Adam shook the box and then opened it to look inside. Hey, no drinking before we are in FTL. I might need your sharp brains. Rokes returned with 2 bottles. Sharp brain? What are you talking about? He grinned as he handed him a bottle. It was some sort of soda with no alcohol in it. Adam opened it and took a sip. God, I miss the beer. I need a beer. Whiskey is good, but a cold beer is better after a hard day's work. Rokes looked at him. You hard day's work? He replied. What do you do that is hard? Well, for starters, looking after all the small projects Vorts and Jork have isn't going overboard. I mean, Jork has made 3 illegal copies of the 3D printers, and I have to buy the damn license without him knowing, so we won't get into trouble. I would get angry at him if he used them for pleasure, but he is using them to improve the droids and ships he is building. I wish he just would ask first. Rokes sighed. You have to get him in line. I know you have a soft spot for him, but if he were a regular employee, you would never accept this. Yeah, I know it. Well, Adam began, but was at a loss for words. He knew what he wanted to say, but it didn't sit well with him. Act like children, Rokes suggested. You treat them as children, so they behave like it and get away with it. I know, but you don't stop a genius when he is working. I just have to find the correct time to tell him. He knew Rokes was right, but it was not how he wanted to treat them. There will never be a right time with either of them. They probably think they own the place when you're gone, and the others probably agree. What if they rebel? They won't, Adam replied. He didn't want to think about that. Vorts almost started a rebellion. What do you think would have happened had the nobility not arrested him? It would have grown and turned violent. As much as I dislike that bastard, there is a point in their insanity, Rokes said as he checked the screens that everything was in green. When we get back after we drop off the professors, we need to buy a new transport soon. One with the Excel drive would cut the traveling speed down to half. That would be a good idea. We need more ships, Rokes replied. More ships means more people. Are you trying to grow the colony? How big do you want Dirt to become? Adam said, and Rokes laughed. Okay, once the defense system is up, we can start opening for the colony. The first part of the trip went calmly. Rokes learned about poker and chess. He was good at chess, but horrible at poker. Rokes tried to teach him boxing and shooting. After 10 bruises, Adam started to get the hang of it. After a week, they had a makeshift gym set up, and they spent the days getting into better shape. Rokes were thinking about getting a tattoo of the clan when they realized they didn't have a clan symbol. They were discussing a few suggestions, and were glad the kids were not there, as they probably would have ended up with something insulting. They never got to agree on one, so they decided to discuss it with the others without the kids later. When they broke out of light speed, they arrived near a mining hub and docked to sell their goods. Mostly, the iridium they had mined from the hidden asteroid and other metals, like osmium, platinum, gold, nickel, and iron. They had chosen the other as they would make it more likely that they just got lucky about the iridium and they had an area where they could, in theory, have mined it. They had 30 cubic meters of iridium, and the remaining 170 cubic meters were the other. 40 cubic meters of each of the rest except iron was only 10, probably given them an extra few $100,000. Adam and Rokes went to the buys and looked at the prices. The price of iridium had risen, but the price of osmium was almost as high as that of iridium. Rokes looked at Adam and then went back to the screen. Another miner came up, looked at the prices and grinned. Damn, I'm lucky I got 1 cubic of osmium. I just love it when pirates do stupid shit, he said, and they looked at him in confusion. You didn't hear? Some pirates blew up the main osmium mining hub in the sector. The Navy will really go after them now, which means new military ships. Iridium and osmium are going through the roof. Wow, that's good news for you, Adam said as he looked at Rokes. And for us. I'm glad we cleaned up that asteroid. Okay, thanks, he continued and dragged Rokes with him. We need to sell and get the hell out of here, Rokes said. And Adam nodded. Yeah, and we can forget about going to the hub now. So, sell it and off to the Surga sector hub. We need to contact Mr. Harry Roro, see if he got hold of that mechanic. They went straight to the administration to sell their goods. It took an hour to check the metals for quality and to ensure that they were raw and not stolen. Adam didn't like waiting around, so they didn't buy anything there but just waited. The buyer and Haran understood them well. It was a lot of credits and they needed to be out of there before the rumors spread. They had not been at the station for more than 3 hours when they left, but in that short time, they had earned 3.3 million due to a desperate need for the metals they had sold. Still, they didn't feel safe and immediately sat course for the Surga sector. It would be 1 more hour to get to the jump point, so Rokes was on the weapons system, ready to defend them. Adam focused on getting to the jump point. They were almost at the jump point when 5 ships dropped out around them, pirates, and immediately started to fire at them. Rokes returned fire with inhuman accuracy and managed to blow one of the pirate ship's engines off as Adam sent out the distress signal and tried every evasion maneuver he knew. But he could see this was a lost cause. Rokes managed to hamstring another ship as Dream's shield started to flicker. At that point, 2 pirate ships exploded suddenly. The last one was hit by something that made it go dark. Adam looked at Rokes, praying that whoever did that was not also coming for them. Rokes checked the scanners as a ship came into view. It looked like a manta ray of black and white metal. It was twice the size of a Dream and stopped right in front of them. They could see into the bridge that somebody was moving around. "Sorry we were late. I'm impressed you survived that long." The voice was feminine and strangely familiar. Something about how the words were spoken. "Thank you for the assist. Do we owe anything for the help?" Adam replied over the com, and there was laughter at the other end in reply. "I don't think you can pay me what I want, but if you want, then you can find me in the Surga Sector hub at Kaiser's Bar. Ask for Captain Kira Nam. And who might you be, by the way?" she replied. Rokes was listening while he also checked the damages. At the same time, he watched the security scanners to see if they were being boarded while the captain was distracting them. "My name is Adam Wrangler. It's a pleasure to meet you, Captain Kira. I will look you up in that bar if I drop by." "Adam? That's a human name. Are you human?" Her voice suddenly changed, and Adam looked confused at Rokes before replying, "Yes, I'm human." As he spoke, the request for video was transmitted, and he accepted. "Oh my god, you are good looking too. Hi, I'm Kira." The woman was on the bridge among a dozen crewmates, all aliens of different species, mostly Tufans and Harans. She seemed flustered, and quickly tried to fix her long red hair. Adam had not seen a woman who seemed so seductive and deadly simultaneously. She looked like she belonged in a movie, yet had this deadly aura about her. And still, she also looked like a flustering teenage girl. As she looked at him, almost blushing as she continued to speak. "So, when are you going to be at Kaiser's Bar?" She bit her lips, and somebody made a comment behind her. She immediately turned to the person who seemed to be scared for his life at that moment, then went back to Adam. "You said you wanted to pay me for my services, and a few drinks or more would be a perfect way to pay me." Adam smiled as he looked at her. "An actual human out here. Well, we are heading that way, so I would say we will be there in about 5 days. I'm surprised to see another human so far out." "Yeah, me too. You're the first I have seen in 5 years, and you're not ugly either." "Okay, 5 days from now? At Kaiser's Bar? Is that a date?" She seemed ecstatic, and Adam had to smile. "Is that what you want as pay? A date?" Adam asked, confused. A girl like her could get whomever she wanted. He guessed she must be desperate to get down to his level. "Yes, that is exactly what I want. So yeah, you better be there, or I will hunt you down," she said with a smirk. It was just that Adam didn't know if she was kidding or not. "Well then, I will be on my way, so I won't be late for our date," he replied, and she smiled as if he had just made her day. "I will be there as well. Goodbye, Adam Wrangler. I'm looking forward to this." Adam said goodbye and flew the ship to the jump point. Rokes just looked at him with a grin. "You're going to get laid." She was so desperate. Adam laughed. "She is human. Don't be so sure. Besides me, she must be blind." Rokes just laughed as Dream jumped into the hyperlane. The hub of the Surga sector was smaller than theirs, and it became clear why theirs was just called the hub. It was twice the size of Surga. Adam had contacted the lawyers and set up a meeting with Kornan. Apparently, he had a good relationship with Minna and liked what he had heard about Adam. he would meet with them in a week. That gave them time to check out what the hub had to offer and ask around about Captain Kira. She had quite a reputation as a pirate hunter, cold, calculated, and effective. She was also known to be a bounty hunter if the criminal was despicable enough. Of course, for humans, almost all criminals that got a bounty on them were that. When Adam showed up at the bar, he found it to be a very high-end bar that surprised him. He asked for Captain Kira and was led into a private room, where he was met by a woman who took his breath away. She did not look like she belonged on a pirate hunting ship, but instead at a high-end party. She wore a long black dress with a long slit and shoulder straps. Her hair was set up with a few loose strands of hair falling down. She blushed, and Adam found himself staring. "Sorry, I know. I just wanted to look nice for you. I should change. You don't like this." She seemed so vulnerable as she spoke, and Adam heard his voice coming back. No, it's not that. You're beautiful. Really, I'm the ugly one here," he replied, and she beamed. "I'm beautiful. Do you really think so?" He took her hand and led her to the couch. Then she sat down next to him and looked at him. She seemed to want to touch him, but instead got herself a drink. "Champagne?" She gave him a glass, and Adam took it. "Thank you. It's been a while since I tasted this," he said, and they clinked the glasses. "I'm more of a beer girl myself. And no, you're not ugly. I bet you ran away from a harem of girls back home." "Harem?" Adam laughed. "No. I had one, and she left me to get married, so no harem. I'm damaged goods." Kira grinned. "Her loss is my win. Besides, I'm more damaged than you." "Oh, how so?" Adam looked at her, and she downed her glass. "I'll tell you tomorrow when I have to leave. It will make it easier. Tonight we drink, dance, and well, you know what I want after that." She grinned, and then blushed as she could not believe how frank she had been. Adam laughed and finished his glass. "Well, I wish we had beers. I'm a beer and whiskey guy." Kira pressed a button, and a keg of beer rose from the table and then pressed another button. Music started blaring. Adam woke 4 days later as Kira got out of bed. The date had turned into more than a night. The last 4 days had been fantastic, and they had both forgotten about the others. He vaguely noticed that Rox was hanging around her crew. He reached out to her as she got up, and she turned and looked at him with sad eyes. "I have to go. This isn't going to work. I mean, you're great. Best that's happened to me, but I can't." He could see tears in her eyes as she spoke, and he pulled her gently down into bed and held her. "Hey, it's okay. We can work through this," he replied softly. "No. Look, there is a reason why I'm out here. I'm dangerous. I mean, real dangerous." She looked at him with a serious face as she wiped her eyes. Adam wanted to joke with her, but saw that would be pointless. "What do you mean? I don't know if you know about this story. About 30 years ago, a little less, actually, this kid escaped a human design factory run by the Costa cartels. They made designer humans for the rich and criminals. He managed to escape. Because of that, he blew the lid on that operation, and thousands of kids were saved. I'm one of those kids. My sister and I were designed to do wet work for that cartel. Both our donors were psychopaths, and I'm working hard not to become like them. But those bastards had started to train us. We were only 5 years old when we were rescued, and I had already killed 5 people. I'm dangerous, and I like you." She took a deep breath, and Adam thought she would cry. "I won't put you in danger. You need a nice wife, somebody who can support you and not look at you thinking about all the ways she can kill you." She kept looking him directly in his eyes. She took a deep breath and got up. "I like you, Adam Wrangler. I wish I could be what you need, but I'm not. I am just a freak of nature." Adam looked at her, shocked, and she smiled weakly now, almost like she was relieved to get it out. "See, I told you I was more broken." She was about to leave when Adam got out of bed. "Wait, you said you were rescued because of a kid who escaped." She stopped and nodded. "Yeah, number one, that's what we called him. Without him, we all would be slaves to those bastards. I owe him my freedom. We all do." Adam sat down, shocked. "You don't owe him anything. He is just happy you're free. I'm one of those he free." "What? You're one of us? Wow. No wonder you are good looking. So how do you know that about him?" She was leaning on the wall, now looking at him. "What did they make you for?" "Made me for, spare parts and pleasure. I was a complete failure." Adam chuckled. She walked over and pushed him back into the bed. No, you're perfect. So tell me about him. How do you know that about him? He told me. He told me he was just glad he could save so many. He is pretty banged up that they didn't get all. Adam didn't know why he didn't want to reveal himself. Maybe it was how she spoke about him, as if he was somebody special. Well, he saved us all, that fool. I wish I could thank him. I would. She grinned and looked down at him. Well, you have to do. Then she kissed him. When Adam woke up the next day, she was gone. There was a note. Don't look for me, Kira. Adam found Rokes in the bar waiting for him. How was it? She left me. I guess it was never meant to be, Adam replied, and Rokes chuckled and slapped his back. Well, the crew left too, but they gave us 2 kegs of something, courtesy of their captain, and you looked drained. Adam just smiled. Well, she was a wild one. God damn it. I'm going to miss her. So what do we do now? Well, tomorrow we have the meeting with Kornung, so let's rest up and get ready. Rest a bit, then we can call Minna and check up with her. You won't find her anyway. Their ship left an hour ago. Adam nodded and went to rest and get a meal. They called Minna and spoke with her about Kornan. He was quite nervous at the moment. Adam took it all into account as he got ready for the meeting. The meeting took place in a private room in a restaurant, and when Adam and Rokes arrived, they were met by another human, the second human Adam had met this far out. She looked him over and smiled slightly. She looked familiar, but it took him a second to realize who she was. Please join us. My boss is eager to meet you, she said, and Adam nodded as he walked past her into the room. Thank you, Miss Nam. She looked at him as he spoke, then grinned. You're observant. Yes, she is my sister. I heard you made her very happy. She deserved that. Then she closed the door behind them, and at the table sat Mr. Corner. He had black hair with some white stripes in it, and his blue skin started to show a few wrinkles. The reddish stripes were fading like all on the old man, but his green eyes were still as sharp as a young Haran. He was dressed in a nice dark green suit with black edges. It's so nice to meet you, Adam Wrangler. I have been informed about your desire to buy and legalize my company, he said, and Adam sat down and smiled slightly. Yes, I need a crew of mechanics for my associate. I want to open up shop, and I have the resources, and he has the skills, Adam said, looking at the man. This is jork work you're talking about. That's one impressive man, and I'm so sad he is a slave at the moment. I believe you bought him, he replied. And Adam nodded with a sigh. Unfortunately, yes. I wish I could have freed him. He is also a member of my clan, of his own choice. You allowed a slave to join your clan? You know that if you take over my business, you will also have to take all my slaves. How many slaves? Adam felt uncomfortable, and Corner stared him down. 18. Some have families. Are you willing to take their families as well? He asked, and Adam nodded. Yes, if they want to come. I will, of course, have to have your slaves transferred and signed my contract. You mean I have to sign? They are, after all, just slaves, Cornan replied, and Adam shook his head. No, all my slaves sign a contract with me, Adam replied. May I see that contract? Of course. Adam transferred him a copy, and he started to read it. Frack, she wasn't lying. Is this binding? Of course it is. Why? Adam replied, confused. Just answer the question, please, and I will explain. Are you getting all of these contracts notarized? Of course, it would be stupid not to. This way, they get a way out, and I can get them freed as soon as possible. I don't want any slaves, but I'm forced to hear, Adam replied. And Cornan laughed. No, you're not. I also have 30 employees. Are you going to fire them? No. I'm not going to force them to follow me. But if they want, then they are welcome to follow the company, Adam replied. He was trying to read this man, but he was hard to read. So my whole operation with families are 74 people, 26 are kids. And you're willing to take them all and house them? He asked as he leaned back in the couch, studying Adam. Yes, that was part of the plan, Adam replied. Do they have to join your clan to keep their job? He asked. No, of course not, Adam replied, glanced at Rox, and then back to Cornan. Can they join your clan? Yes, but I prefer that they wait a while to see if they actually like me and the clan. I don't want to force anyone. Anyway, are there any problems? Yes, you're giving me a chance to save my men and their families, and I haven't met anyone like you. It's scary, More scary than Sarah and her sister. I can understand them. But you... What do you think, Sarah? Can I trust him? She nodded. Yeah, you can trust him. He is of my kin. If he betrays you, then I will hunt him down. But I have a feeling we don't ever have to do that. Adam just looked at her and back at Cornan. So, are we good? You asked for 1.2 million credits. Yes, we are good. But only if you take them all. Well, all who want to go with you. Adam reached over the table to shake. You got a deal.